FixEasy.com bringing you another repair video today. Looks like we're going to be working on the Samsung Galaxy Note 4, the SMN910U from T-Mobile. In today's video, we're going to show you the steps necessary to remove and replace the display assembly on your Note 4. Before we get started with our disassemble, let's review our suggested tools. Small Phillips screwdriver, plastic opening tools, a spudger, fine-tipped curved tweezers, a heat gun or a blow dryer. Let's take a look here at our Note 4, which we do have a cracked LCD on this unit. That's why we're going to be changing the display. We could begin our entry by removing our rear cover, starting here at the notch, freeing the first of a series of clips around the perimeter of the phone with our plastic opening tool. With our rear cover removed, we're going to find the battery located in the housing in the center of the phone that we can lift out as well with our plastic opening tool. At this time, we can remove our SIM and our micro SD cards as they're easy accessible. And we've got a series of small Phillips screws that are securing down the plastic mid-frame. Let's go ahead and remove those screws. As well as our stylus here in the bottom of the phone. And we're going to come in with our opening tool to show you how to remove this mid-frame. It's a little bit more difficult than previous versions of the Note. Let's find our seam here where our display meets the mid-frame, and we'll go in there with our opening tool and try to remove the first of several clips that are securing it all the way around the perimeter of the phone. With some patience and maneuvering here with our opening tool, we'll eventually get that mid-frame away from our display assembly and see that our motherboard's built up on top of our display. And we can work towards removing our motherboard, starting here with the securing Phillips screw. And then a series of connections. First, our wafer connection we can gently pry up from the motherboard, as well as a small coaxial connection down here in the corner. We've got the connection here for our earpiece speaker assembly. And now we can begin to lift up the motherboard from the phone. You can disconnect the wafer connection for the dock port assembly here at the bottom, completely freeing the motherboard for removal. These two connections here are for our display assembly. We're going to show you how they're connected to the display once we separate it from our framework. To begin that separation, we suggest using a heat gun or a blow dryer, softening up that adhesive to make it easier to peel the display away from our framework. Notice that we began our separation down near the home button. You want to be careful in this area, as on either side of the home button, there is the back and menu buttons that you don't want to cause damage to. You'll see us working with our pry tool, trying to keep the sensor film for our stylus intact as we're removing the display from our frame. The sensor film is a gold foil-like pad that is stuck to the back of the display assembly. Let's be careful to try to keep this intact as we remove it completely from the phone. It's just a matter of time before the display assembly finally finds its way away from the frame. You'll see in our video that we did tear the sensor film on our pad. When we're reinstalling our new display assembly, we're going to go ahead and use tape to put our sensor film back together so that our stylus will work effectively. Let's begin the reassembly of our Note 4. This is a good shot of our framework here with some adhesive that we've already installed. We do send out free adhesive strips with all of our replacement parts that you can cut to size or shape with your scissors or precision knife kit and install it accordingly. You'll notice here that we cut out areas for our front-facing camera, as well as some of the proximity sensors and around here down near the home buttons. We're also going to show you how we effectively install adhesive onto our replacement part. You're going to notice that we've already installed the adhesive strips down both sides, and then we use our precision knife kit to shave it flush with the sides of our display. With all of our adhesive strips in place, let's begin the preparation of putting our display assembly to our new framework. We can go ahead and remove the covers for our new adhesive strips at this time. Don't forget any of the protective plastic that might be on the replacement part display that we need to peel up first. We're going to want to remove the stylus sensor film from our previous display and transplant it onto our replacement part before installation. As you can see, ours is going to require a little bit of repair work before we can reinstall it. To remove it from the existing display, we used a heat gun or a blow dryer to soften up the adhesive, making it easier to peel up from our existing display. Before reinstalling it, you're going to see we laid 2 small strips of adhesive to secure it in place. Let's make sure we transplant the earpiece speaker grill from the existing display as well. Once all this is complete, we can now put the two together, starting down near the home button and aligning it up to our framework, securing it in the new adhesive. So let's work on getting this display and framework back together. Let's bring in this motherboard so we can maneuver it back onto the phone. You're going to see we removed our earpiece speaker here to make it a little bit easier to settle it down into place. And then secure the connection first down here for the dock port assembly. And then reinstall our earpiece speaker and lock down its wafer connection. We have another small connection down here for the home button, and then our coaxial cable connection here in the corner. Turning this assembly over, you're going to see the 2 connections for our display. Here's the first one for our sensor film that we can get plugged in, and then the second one for the display itself. We can settle the display now down into the new adhesive, lining up the home button, and then pressing firmly around the entire perimeter of this assembly. Let's not forget the single Phillips screw that secures the motherboard in place. And now bring in the plastic midframe so that we can snap it around our new assembly. With our midframe snapped in place, you'll see that we were very thorough to check that our new display assembly was completely flush with our midframe. Working our way around the entire perimeter, pressing it firmly into the new adhesive. Let's now reinstall all of our Phillips screws that are securing that mid-frame in place. Let's not forget to push the stylus back into the bottom of our Note 4. We can now install the micro SD and SIM cards before placing the battery in its housing. And we can snap on the rear cover, making sure to secure all the clips around the perimeter of the phone. At this point, we could power it on to check for full functionality. And there you have it, another successful repair by FixEasy.com. All of the parts and tools you've seen today in this video are available at www.fixeasy.com. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, like us on Facebook, and follow us on Twitter.